Hello, very happy new year to all of you, and this is 2022, and this is my first video of the year. I have not been making the videos daily, but today I felt like uh, I should be making a yearly starting video. So, what I'm planning for this year in terms of technology which I want to learn. So these are some of the things which I am going to learn in 2022. I made the similar list in 2021, and it was almost 60% completed, but I could not complete all of the things, but because I had it up a lot of things in that list. So today's list is pretty small. I tried to make a list of things which I really wanted to learn, which I'm very excited to learn, not just anything which comes my way and just piques my interest. Before starting that, actually today was Saturday and it's a weekend. I never miss a good weekend. Today was very cold and rainy day, so today I spent most of my day traveling into the mountains, and I was just exploring the beautiful weather. And in the evening when we were traveling, so I saw this beautiful sunset in the evening as well. While we were traveling, we had a lot of fun. We started from our home at around 12 or 12:30 and reached to this place at around 3. This was the kind of weather which I was looking for a very long time. From the past 2-3 times when I have been to these mountains, mostly I have seen like a very foggy weather, or sometimes it feels very normal. In normal, it means like whenever I go there, the views are almost same, but today it was completely different. And so I tried to click these videos there, ate a Maggie at a place. It was so cold. I was just wearing this hoodie. I did not bought my jacket today because in Haldwani it was not that cold. So I thought the same situation would be there, and mostly I thought like I'll not be moving out of my car. I'll be because it's raining. But the rain stopped, and when I went out, it was a very windy day as well. I felt very cold, chill winds. My hands were like frozen, and that time that Maggie really helped. So overall, the day was pretty amazing. And now I'm back home. I am just editing this video, and also this video is all about the technologies which I'm going to learn this year. So yeah, so let's start with that. So here are my top contenders for this year which I really wanted to learn. So on the right you can see all the technologies which I'm currently interested in learning. So the number one priority on my list is currently TypeScript Advanced, and I have marked it because I did one good tutorial or Udemy course on it already, and I really loved, and I think I have already learned most of the advanced topics which I can think of, and so I have just marked it. So TypeScript, what TypeScript is, if anyone who is watching and doesn't know, TypeScript is actually not a programming language. It's a syntax on top of JavaScript. So JavaScript, as you know, is not a very type safe language. You can create any variable and you can assign it anything and it will work. So having a type safety is very important in any programming language, and TypeScript just gives you these kind of errors whenever you're building. In the example, if I show you, so for example, they are building a user with first name as a string, last name as a string, and role as a string. Now if you do console.log user.name, it will give you an error like name does not exist on type user. So but in JavaScript these kind of errors are not available. You only get to know about this when you are running your app on a runtime. But TypeScript gives you these errors on compile time, and it makes your code much more readable, much more safe and bug free. So if anyone who is in 2022 and not using TypeScript and just using pure JavaScript, either he's a ninja, JavaScript ninja, he knows what he's doing, or he does not know what he's doing. He should be using TypeScript. Okay, so next one is Prisma. So Prisma is an ORM. ORM is like object relationship mapping. So what it does is these kind of ORMs usually help you manage your SQL queries whenever you are dealing in a project. They give you a library which you can write a more abstract version of SQL and use them. So for example, they have given this, like you have a data source, you can just provide what kind of data source you're using. You can give MySQL, Mongo, or anything, and just give the URL of it. Then your provider is like Prisma client.js. Now you can build your schema using these Prisma syntax. Like I'm building a post which is a JSON object, looks like. Otherwise, I'll have to write a very complicated SQL queries to do something like this. So Prisma helps you in these kind of things, and it makes your work much easier if you're building backend stuff and wanted to connect to a database. The migration part is very easy. Migration is a big problem. Most of my project recently have been moved to NoSQL database because always migration was something a big pain in all of those. So I never touched MySQL or any relational database. So that's what my reasoning is behind using Prisma. Is it makes writing SQL queries much simpler. So why not just use a relational database? And even if I'm using a Mongo, then also it helps you write these queries much safer. Now the third part is Planet Scale. Now this is something which I am super excited to. So I recently got to know about this like a month back, that there is a service exists which is called as Planet Scale. Now what Planet Scale is actually, so for example, if I want to build a project and I want to host a database, what I'll have to do is I'll start my own server. I'll write some queries in that server which will install the MySQL, MongoDB, and run an instance of it on that. Now if the database increases or the user base is decreasing, if I want to scale it up or scale it down, I have to do it manually, and the database can crash if the queries are getting too much on that. So all the setup, hassle, CI/CD, everything is so much hassle for an indie developer if you are building something. And so Planet Scale takes care of all of this. So they are kind of a hosting provider for your database. So they provide database as a service. The one thing which I am little skeptical about this is because they are using Wheat database, which is a relational database. They do not give any service for Mongo, but there are other providers for Mongo. But as I said in my last thing which I'm going to learn, that is Prisma, which gives you much better abstraction on writing SQL queries. So why not just use relational database? So that's what Planet Scale comes in. They provide a MySQL compatible serverless database. The MySQL compatible serverless database, what they are providing is called as this Vitess. Sorry, it's not Wheat, it's Vitess. So Vitess is I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Vitess is a database built by the team at Google. It's an open source database, and most of the big companies use it. Like YouTube uses it, and Slack uses it, Airbnb uses it. So there is no doubt that this is a very well tested and very robust database, MySQL relational database. So yeah, so using it is a no-brainer. So that's one thing, Planet Scale. I'll be building an app where I'll just use Planet Scale. And if you have used Vercel or used hosted Next.js apps, how easy it is now just to link your GitHub repo and put your website live to any URL. That's how easy it is to use this database. I have just tried a sample app, and it felt like magic to have a database running in just 2 or 3 clicks. So this is something which I'll be diving deep into. Now the fourth thing, which is GraphQL. So I've used GraphQL, I would not say a lot, but I have used it in a couple of my projects previously, and not very extensively. GraphQL is a service. It was created by Facebook. This is not a replacement, but an advancement on REST API. So how we used to use our APIs using REST APIs, where you make these get, post, put, delete kind of queries and get a JSON object. GraphQL helps you build a dynamic query basically. So what it does is for example, if I am creating a login API which returns a user's name and a user's image, in REST API I have to like statically write these return values on the server. I have to write a function. But in GraphQL I can just tell my API what parameters I need from the backend, and it will return me all those. So it's a pretty smart technology actually. I really like what they are doing, and they do provide directly, like it's already provided, is real-time connection, which is called as subscriptions in GraphQL. And the one thing which I want to learn in GraphQL is an Urkel. Urkel is a library which is a replacement for Apollo. Apollo is a client. So Apollo is kind of a client which you have to install on your apps, or in your either it's a web app or a mobile app. You have to download this Apollo library, which can then make connections to GraphQL server and help you write lesser code basically. So that's another company, like I think Formidable has created Urkel. It's like highly customizable and versatile GraphQL client for React, Svelte, Vue, plain JavaScript. So if React is there, most of my projects are built in React. Either it's mobile app, it's on React Native. I think Urkel supports React Native as well. So yeah, so that's why it's the new thing in the market. That's why I want to move it to this one. But yeah, so I'm not going to go on a Apollo route. I'm going to go on a Urkel route. This is something on the GraphQL side. Another thing, component library design. So this is not a this is not any service. This is basically to design your own component library design. What that means is, if I'm building an app, most of the time, most of the buttons, most of the input, most of the screens almost looks the same. You just do the placement of these kind of components in different places on those screens. Now, how cool would it be if I have a set of these components already created and I just place them while building any new app? So I can make a library, a package, which I can just import in my app and just use all the components already, which I have created. Now there are two things. There are already free components available online which I can use, but as a developer, I do not feel like using them. I want to know how to make these components and to put them into a package and just publish it for anyone to use, or to be used by me. So this is something I want to do this year. Maybe build my own component library, share it online and an open source project, and that will be very amazing and awesome for me. Next is Solidity. So Solidity is a programming language to build blockchain like smart contracts. So next part, as you can see, it's smart contracts. So basically I want to build some smart contracts, and Solidity is the #1 programming language to build that on an Ethereum blockchain. Most of the blockchains which are hit right now, like BSC chain or Ethereum chain, support Solidity, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think Solana do support Solidity as well. So if I learn Solidity, I'm good to host my smart contract apps on 2-3 blockchains. And I've already learned a little bit of Solidity. I just posted one small app for myself only using Ganache and Truffle. I just built a small sample app and just hosted it, tried it, and it was pretty fun actually. It's not that hard. It's any object-oriented programming. Also built something useful which I can just share with some of the people this year. The next part is Kubernetes and Terraform. So these are some of the DevOps technologies which I really want to learn. I know a little bit of Kubernetes. Terraform also, I just know what it does, but I have never used it specifically on any of my apps. TurboRepo is I am currently learning basically, and TurboRepo is the coolest new kid in the block these days. And what it do is it helps you build monorepos. And what monorepo is, if you ask? So recently I got to know that Google, the biggest technology company in the world, actually has just one repository of the whole code base. Like if you want to see their ads, their ad services, their search services, their host chatting services, all of these services are hosted in just one repository. You think like a Git repository, which is just one single project. This is called as a monorepo. And why they do this? Because this helps you reuse your most of the code with each of the services. This helps you manage things much easier. And recently in my professional project, what problem we are facing is we have like 5 services which are hosted in different repositories, 5-6 repositories, and which is not a very easily manageable thing. So for example, if I have an authentication service and I have a checkout service, both of them are hosted on different repositories, but some of the utility code is usually used, like they both are sharing the same code. Now I cannot reuse it unless I make another like a package out of those utilities and just share with both of them. Now the problem again comes, if I change anything on that utilities, I have to again change the import values, the library versions there. If I have a monorepo, I can just tell, okay, utilities will be one file which will be used by all the repositories, all the packages inside it. That's what monorepo helps you. So monorepo is something which is the future of most of the projects, I feel. And even in my case, I am trying to build my blog by myself as an app, is a Next.js app, my website, which is built in React. I want to move it to Next.js. So I'll be making a one monorepo, hosting all these apps parallelly into just single repository. So I can reuse a lot of components, a lot of UI, a lot of logics on all these repositories. And Turbo Repo makes this happen. Before this, I was using Lerna. Lerna is also a monorepo helper, and Turbo Repo's founder actually built Turbo Repo after the problems he found in Lerna. So this is mostly inspired by Lerna, but this is a newest thing in the market. And Vercel, the team who built Next.js, just recently bought Turbo Repo and the whole team of the Turbo Repo. So this is something which I want to really learn, and I'm currently learning. Last thing, which is last, and I'm not sure if I'll be learning it, that is Remix. So Remix is again another React framework like Next. So currently in the market, there is no alternate to Next. Vercel as a company has really no competitor in the market. Remix was built, but it was a license-based premium product earlier, and it was hidden behind a paywall. So nobody was using it. Recently, what the founder did, they just open sourced it, and now everyone can use it freely. And I am reading a lot of praise about it in all the developer forums. People are saying it's much easier to build things here. It solves a lot of problems. I'm even not sure what problem Remix is solving. It's just a new thing which I read online. So I am like little bit intrigued to know what Remix is. And so I'll be spending some time on this. But as it's the last thing, if I do not learn it this year, that is also fine. But if I see the trend is moving upwards for Remix, or people are really praising it a lot, I might dig deeper into what Remix is all about. Okay, so these are the technologies which I'm really interested in. I know this video got too long for the reasons for my list is too long, but so these are some of the technologies which I'm really interested in. So this is my year's review. It's my start of the year, what I'm going to learn and invest my time in. So thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like it, please like and subscribe, and I'll be making another video. It's more around the travel scene, and I'll see you again. Bye bye, and again a very happy new year.